In this video, I'm going to be playing for you guys all of the radios in Season 2 of Vanguard Zombies, or more specifically on the brand new map, Terra Maledicta. And these radios, I mean, you guys will see there's some foreshadowing stuff and stuff like that you like to hear inside any story stuff. Probably the most interesting thing about this game still, but hey, we do with what we can. But either way though, if you guys do go on to enjoy this video and you find it entertaining or interesting in any way, shape, or form, then definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to be quiet already, and I'll let you guys enjoy these radios.
Well, my allies, we finally made it. Thanks to our new friend Verkana, you've escaped the containment spell Kortifex erected around Stalingrad. Of course, this deep in the Egyptian desert, we have no radio contact with Allied forces. We must still fight von List. On our own. But our odds have improved. I believe we are close to finding a means of separating von List from Kortifex, denying the Wahrheit the means to raise their undead army. You see, this is the site where they found the scepter of Kortifex, and it appears to hold continued significance to von List's plans. That oasis and the small settlement around it has traded hands between Allied and Axis forces. But the true battle begins now. With us. Bellicar and I have been discussing that Tome of Rituals page you saw at Shinonuma. Secured by the Void spell and its energy anchors, we believe it details how demonic artifacts work, how they maintain the symbiosis between a human and a dark ether entity, and quite possibly how to sever that bond. Just imagine, cutting the cord between Kortifex and von List. That, my friends, is now our mission. The tome page just might put an end to this entire unholy affair. Quite a change, is it not? To trade the numbing cold of Stalingrad for the blistering heat of the desert. Well, at least Kortifex's barrier spell no longer hems you in. And you know whom we have to thank for our new area of operations. Verkana the Last, elemental nature spirit of the dark ether dimension. She showed us the way here. When we first began sending messages to the dark ether, we were unsure who would receive them. But Bellicar hoped it would be a certain someone with whom she once joined forces before. We are fortunate indeed Verkana answered the call. She certainly has reason enough to oppose Kortifex.
So much anger, so much
But that
strength.
story is hers to tell. What is increasingly clear is that we shall need even more help from the other side to succeed against von List. We have your new friend, the Decimator, and even a beachhead, so to speak, in the dark ether itself. We are closer than ever to denying von List his otherworldly power. Let us stay on mission and committed to victory. Craft to Special Forces. I am concerned that the encroachment of dark ether elements into our world appears to be accelerating. The most obvious example is Zabala, the Deceiver, the assassin Kortifex recently summoned. But there are others. For example, the augmenter worms that strengthen Kortifex by corrupting our world. Thank goodness their control runes give away their position. And then there is the Void spell with its energy anchors. Such powerful forms of rune magic were not possible when von List first joined with Kortifex. Simply put, our enemies are growing stronger. You can see it in the landscape all around you. Dark ether crystals are spreading throughout the land. We may be making progress in our mission, but so are they. We must redouble our efforts if we are to stop the Wahrheit before it is too late. DrKrafft, Audio Memoir Part 7. Those first days after Von List bonded with Kortifex were, well, they were terrifying. The change in him was obvious. He was still the same murderous Oberfuhrer. But I had never questioned his sanity until then. He immediately ordered all units of his De Wahrheit battalion to mobilize. Destination, Stalingrad. Over a year had passed since the German surrender, and now Stalingrad lay deep in enemy territory. There was no way Berlin would approve this. I wondered if they would try to stop him. I wondered if I still had any value to the Wahrheit. I wondered if this would spell doom for my poor Sasha. I was relieved when Von List told me I would accompany him. Apparently, he still needed me. But the mission was too terrible to contemplate. I knew he planned to resurrect all those dead soldiers. I had very few options to oppose him. My only chance lay with the other artifacts we had collected. I suspected they also harbored entities like Kortifex. I had no idea if they would be friend or foe. So I made it my business to find out. Krafft, Memoir Entry Number 8. Once we arrived in Stalingrad, Von List locked me in my office, along with most of the notes and relics we brought with us. He was busy securing the area and exhuming mass graves. I was instructed to study the Tome of Rituals for anything that could boost Kortifex's power, and therefore Von List's. The other artifacts were locked in a trunk. Kortifex told Von List to destroy them, but the Oberfuhrer balked, thinking we could draw on their power too. So I picked the lock, something Sasha once taught me, and laid hands on the mask of Belekar. The initial shock nearly killed me. My heart seized up, I fell and hit my head. When I awoke, I was no longer alone. Belekar was in my head, ancient and wise. We got along immediately, but I was clearly an unsuitable host for such a being. I touched the mask again, so she could withdraw. But in that brief time, we had established a connection and begun to formulate a plan. I used the radio Von List left me to send a distress call. We needed the right kind of hosts. Allied soldiers committed to vanquishing the Nazis. Professor Gabriel Krafft, Entry 9. During our journey to Stalingrad, one particular concern hung over me. If, as I suspected, Von List's mission was not authorized, the Nazi High Command might brand us deserters. If so, any prisoners kept by the Wahrheit would likely be transferred to the camps or simply executed. I was frightened of the strange new light in Von List's eyes. But for the sake of my Sasha, I kept demanding to know what would happen to my spouse. Of course, he did not want to hear it. But Sasha was how he maintained leverage over me, and he still needed my expertise. When the last De Wahrheit unit arrived in Stalingrad, they brought with them a letter from Sasha. Von List had requested it to shut me up. It was the glimmer of hope I needed. It was carefully worded. There was little warmth, no in-jokes or personal references. But Sasha was alive and relatively safe. That was all I needed to continue my work.
This is Oberfuhrer Wolfram von List to all troops of Kampfgruppe Die Wahrheit. The Allied soldiers gathered by the traitor Krafft have escaped Kortifex's containment spell. We think they may be at our remote operations post in Egypt, but are unable to confirm this as we lost contact with our personnel on site. I have also reason to believe they have been joined by another of Kortifex's foes from the Dark Aether. Her name is Verkana. She possesses healing powers that can make the allied Shriner particularly hard to kill. I should like to get a better sense of what this Verkana brings to the battle. But if nothing else, I want to know what happened at the Egypt site, and if they had anything to do with it. Should this be the case, it is only one of many reasons I want them exterminated. Their trespass and interference must not be allowed to continue. Oberfuhrer von List to all die Wahrheit personnel. We have lost contact with our unit in the Egyptian desert. It appears something went wrong when they set off demolition charges in the chamber where we found the scepter of Kortifex. This mission was to prevent Professor Krafft and his allies from discovering the circumstances of Kortifex's imprisonment in that temple. Instead, upon detonation, every radio at the site went dark, including those in vehicles well outside the blast radius. This was 36 hours ago. Since the task force is yet to make contact, all are presumed dead. Krafft and his soldiers were still trapped in Stalingrad as this incident unfolded. This raises the possibility that someone else is now working to subvert die Wahrheit's mission. We are working to ascertain what really transpired at our desert operations site. Until then, remain vigilant. Krafft and his troublemakers have a new ally. Tell me, Kortifex, what exactly are we up against?
Her name is Verkana. Verkana the Last.
Not a very flattering title.
She is the last of her clan. I saw to that.
And what did her clan do to deserve that fate?
They told me to stop my armies from raising their precious wilds. No one tells me what to do.
And these Dark Aether clans, is this why you all look so different?
Indeed. Some, like Invictors, formed the backbone of my armies. Some, like Bellicars, focused on studies and rune magic. Verkana's people were hermits. They dwelt in the wilds, communing with their so-called web of life.
And when they asked you to honor their home, they discovered you are not a nature lover. So, why is this Verkana still alive? Why did you not finish the job?
At the time, we did not understand how their cursed life web worked, how it linked them together. When one died, their life energy passed to the others. The power of an entire clan now resides in Verkana. She may be impossible to kill.
Well, if there is a way, we damn well better find it. Kortifex, kindly tell your lackey not to crowd me. It is distracting.
Tell me yourself, Red Blood. No need to trouble my lord if I intimidate you. And it's not you I am drawn to. It is he who resides in your unworthy flesh.
Zapala, keep a civil tongue. You are here to help him as much as to help me.
Precisely. Though there is something else troubling me. Why does she look so much like that mad demon helping the enemy?
Syraxis? What do you expect? She's my sister.
I beg your pardon?
She refers to the Sisters of Agony. there are always 5 of them. Should one fall, I choose a replacement from the Dark Aether clans and alter her to match the others.
I see. You do that if one falls, but not if one betrays you?
That human scholar betrayed you, Wolfram. We all have our disappointments.
Don't worry, Wolfie. She'll be dead soon. And then you'll only have my pretty faces to worry about. And then you'll...
Oberführer Wolfram von List to all troops of Kampfgruppe die Wahrheit. By now, many of you have seen our new ally from the Dark Aether supporting field operations. Her name is Sabala the Deceiver. She is one of a team of elite assassins, hand-picked by Kortifex thousands of years ago. She brings to us a variety of abilities. They should prove instrumental in eradicating the soldiers working with Professor Krafft. These include her Dark Aether energy strikes, and her ability to create duplicates of herself. Her long history with the Dark Aether entities assisting Krafft means she knows their secrets, their tactics. She can get under their skin in ways we cannot. In short,
stay out of my way. I'll kill your enemies if it pleases Lord Kortifex. But I don't much care which uniform you Redbloods wear.
Kortifex, keep your pet on a shorter leash while I am addressing my men.
Shorter leash? We Sisters of Agony operate just as our Creator intended. Whatever I do, assume it is sanctioned by my lord, and be thankful we're on your side.
Kortifex, I try to be a patient man, but time is a luxury in very short supply right now.
Meaning?
Meaning, you promised me an army of millions. Yet here we are, still amassing power so you can make good on our bargain.
Our bargain, yes. I help you win your war, then you release me back to the Dark Aether. Nothing has changed in our arrangement.
Except you make such little progress on the first half of the deal.
Mind your tone, mortal. What you ask is proving more difficult than anticipated, but it can be done. It is merely a question of bringing more power from the Dark Aether into your world. Thus, I summoned Zabala and brought my augmentors. I am even utilizing void magic, all to accomplish your ends, Wolfram.
Yes, well, if much more of your world spills into mine, soon I won't have to send you home. You will already be there.
Come now, Wolfram. I will take it all with me when the time comes to reclaim my throne. This ball of dust is not what I am after. I leave that all to you.
Very well, but I cannot wait forever.
Human. Is that what you seedlings call yourselves? You are a strange sight indeed, though not entirely displeasing. By all rights, I should not be here. Your world is none of my concern, and neither should you be. From what I gather, I spent most of your species' existence in the wilds of the Dark Aether, communing with the web of life. Or what remained of it, after Kortifex's armies left a wasteland in their tracks. Kortifex the Deathless, He slaughtered my clan. Once we ranged across the dark Aether. Now I am all that is left. Verkana, the last. The rage and sorrow of so many lost loved ones. It echoes through my bones. So much slaughter. A debt in blood, demanding to be paid. I thought Belikar and I gained some vengeance when the Deathless One was banished. But still he has lived on. So when her messengers began reaching my world, offering a chance to truly settle the score, well... I am Verkana the Last. I am here to end Kortifex, to bring death to the deathless. And if it takes human help to do so, then let us get to it.
Soldiers of Norticus, by now you are well aware that we face a new adversary on the field of battle. Zavala the Deceiver, one of Kortifex's personal assassins. And you may be asking yourself how she can be here in person without need of an artifact. The answer is that, in a sense, she's not here at all. You may have seen two of her at once, yes? She is the Deceiver, because she can create fully independent copies of herself. The real Zavala remains in the Dark Aether, so each time you defeat her in combat, know that you will see her again. The one consolation is that she feels the pain and demise of each copy she makes. They are connected to her. Each loss hurts. So, take her seriously and put her down as swiftly as possible. It hurts her every time.
Syraxis, this plan we are considering, separating Kortifex from Von List, I sense it disturbs you.
Come on, Belikar. You really worried about my feelings? Or that I might somehow foul up your scheme?
You seldom speak of it, but you are the only one of us ever forced back into their artifact by an external power.
I don't want to talk about that.
Look, I know we are not friends. You do not value friendship.
Not true. I've lost count of all the human friends I've made.
And discarded. Those friendships are all too brief.
That's the problem with immortality. Every other immortal just becomes a pain in the ass. Present company not excluded.
Well, what we are aiming for with Kortifex is different than what happened to you. We want to force him back into his scepter, then cast him out with no human to host him.
We can do that?
It depends what is on that page Von List was so desperate to protect.
And then what? Would it kill Kortifex? Or simply unleash him?
Well, we may not be friends, but at least we're asking the same questions.
Greetings, warrior. My name is... well, I don't remember. Just call me Decimator. Everyone does. How I came by that name is the story of my rise and fall. I was once a commander of the Night Legions. Kortifex was my lord and master, and I made certain his troops delivered nothing short of victory. The slightest failing, and I would decimate their ranks. Hence the name. This won me no love from the troops, but I cared only for winning battles. And then the clans rose up against Kortifex, and when we faced their gathered forces, for the first time in anyone's memory, the Night Legions lost. Kortifex was furious, but rather than decimate all of us, he singled me out. He cursed me, made me one with my own shield. Trapped for eternity, cast aside like garbage, I lived on only as a cautionary tale for those who would fail the Deathless One. But now I have you. This is my chance to rise again and show my former master that I am not garbage.
When I found the Decimator, discarded and forgotten in the wilds of the dark Aether, his inner flame had dwindled to an ember. He was once a soldier, cruel and exalted, but Kortifex cursed him, trapping his spirit within his own shield. Finding him in such a wretched state made my heart swell with pity.
Seriously, Volcana, I will never understand this need to, what is it my playthings call it? Ah, yes, to forgive.
Whatever you wish to call it. When I saw these seedlings try and fail to obtain that tome page, I saw an opportunity. A chance for the Decimator to achieve something Syraxis may be more familiar with.
Let me guess. Redemption.
You are not as hopeless as I once thought, Syraxis. Thus, I sent the Decimator here to be claimed by these humans. But those crystals are in our way.
I think I know why. Kortifex uses augmentor worms to boost his power. I sensed their corruption in those 4 crystal locks.
Then to weaken those locks, we must purge more augmenters.
Precisely. I shall open a portal and...
Whoa there, Conqueror Guy. I'm actually starting to give a damn how this turns out. Let me take the wheel this time. You up for this, playthings?
Well, Verkana, how do you think we can wake up the Decimator?
Kortifex has revived an ancient blood rite to increase his powers. His puppets sacrifice themselves to siphon cores that collect their essence. Once they drink their fill, the cores open rifts, unleashing more revenants than they consumed.
Yes, we've all seen it. Get to the point. Addie's Destroyer. I think I see where this is going.
As do I. There is a strong exchange of life energy in such a process, and Verkana commands life energy.
That's right, Belikar. We must find Kortifex's siphon cores and turn that blood rite to suit our purposes.
You guys done flapping your gums? Let's give the Decimator an eye-opening experience. What do you say?
Now is as good a time as any. Seedlings, are you ready? When last you attempted to take that spellbook page, you were thwarted by the void magic that protects it.
Indeed. The power of that spell is one reason we are convinced that the tome page contains a secret to separating Kortifex from his human host.
Well, the Decimator now has the power to blast through the energy anchors empowering that spell.
But the portal we used to reach that place is back in that frozen city. Must we return there? And be trapped by the containment spell once more?
Forget that. Come on, Verkana. You've got the juice. Open up a portal.
I will. The only question is if our seedling soldiers are ready to do this.
Professor, I'm sharing the page from the Tome of Rituals that we just collected.
Yes, I see it, Bellica. It appears to be what we were hoping for. There may well be a method here to sever the link between Von List and Kortifex.
So, what does that mean for the rest of us?
If Von List possessed such knowledge, why did he not use it against us?
He is not as well versed in rune magic as our good professor.
The better question is, why did Kortifex not deploy that spell to stop us?
These are mysteries that must wait for now. I need time to truly grasp what is on this page.
Then we fight on. But if nothing else, today erased any doubts I had about joining your seedling resistance. I have found my new clan. Let us crush all tyrants and restore our lands together.